Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Faishal Murtadho. My presentation today is about my travel experience to Mount Bromo. Mount Bromo is a famous active volcano and part of Bromo Tengger Semeru National Park. Some of you may wonder, was that a holiday trip? No, it was a school trip. Some background first. I was born and raised in South Kalimantan. When I was 12 years old, my parents wanted me to study at Islamic boarding school, and for a new experience, they chose it outside Kalimantan. Later, my parents decided my junior high is going to be at Probolinggo East Java. I really don't have complaints, so I agreed to the idea. Learning there initially wasn't hard, except maybe math because I still don't really like the lesson. But just like other schools, problem or mess could happen. Sometimes bad interaction, ill feel, misdemeanors, and others. Most students are not really bothered by this problem, but for me, it made me a bit gloomy. So, being student at boarding school was unique. Sometimes it was fun, exciting. The other time was very hard and went through, especially as a passive person like myself. Eventually, we got to the senior third year, and at the sixth semester, as usual, there's going to be a national exam. From what I noticed, there was talks between some students about some trip. In my mind, it was just some kind of conference or seminar. No, I just want to use this pre-exams period for preparation. I'll rather read or answering questions rather than tedious speech. Later informed by teacher that we are going to Mount Bromo. We immediately delighted by it. We'll be there for 2 days with some teachers. There will be motivation by one of our teachers who also be a big motivator. He often attend as main speaker for motivation training. A few days later, we were ready to go. The transportation was a premium since we just need to pay a little amount of money. Some trip costs most likely paid by the school. It's somewhat crowded as we sit as tight as possible. Not a surprising thing for sure in Indonesia. It's just usual transportation. Distance from my school to the guest house at a village near Bromo was about 40 km plus. Some students slept at the trip, others just enjoying the scenery from the city to the hill from the window. Soon the air felt colder as we entered higher ground of Sukapura. I could make fog from my breath. Close into the destination, I could see the village. Here, Tengger's people was the main resident. They generally profess in Hinduism or Buddhism. There's about 30 villages of Tengger's community around Mount Bromo. They also exist in regency around the national park. We arrived at the small guest house, which owned by the local who was our accountant, who was Molaf. Near the house stands a small hall-like building, looks like in progress. It's used for prayer for Muslim around or simple gathering. I felt freeze whenever I took ablution for praying. The guest house wasn't big. It has like 4 rooms, a tight place for 30 plus people. There's toilet scramble because many persons simultaneously want to answer calls of nature. The other choose to do something outside. I was wandering around along slope road of the village. That day we went to some empty land to do some playful exercise. Many pine trees could be found around here. Firstly, we do some breath exercise with our teacher. Then we do quizzes with some little penalty for the loser. Fortunately, I was able to pass. After that, we took some pictures and get around again. Near evening, we got the first part of motivation speech in the hall. Our motivator was a great life coach. The speech was not only want you to be mentally good for exams, but also spiritually. We told to do best for Allah, then blessing will come from many ways. Especially with pray and practices are given to us. At the night in the house, couch and bedroom already occupied by some students. Some already sleep as they were exhausted. Other unfortunate students, including me, have no option other than sleep on the floor. Not a big deal. I already used that. I used to that from home. Second day, we're going to the main attraction of this trip, the Mount Bromo itself. Our teacher told us we are going there by foot. I was thinking it will be easy. I have already been on some march that have few kilometers distance. Firstly, it's easy. Later, it's just like hiking, very heavy. I never thought I could sweating at high altitude. I blame myself for using multiple layers of clothing. I stripped my jacket and the sun shining directly on me. Somewhere I resting with few others, then I see some students on the jeep. Later comes other jeep picked up us to near mountain. I'm very grateful since my leg was worn out. Also thanks to the guest house owner for gave us a special deal with the jeep taxi. I'm able to just sit and enjoy the view of village and lots of tree. And then finally we arrive at the sea of sand. Of sand, yeah. I'm so amazed by the panorama. I could walk around although my leg is still stiff. Our teacher gave us instruction to scatter and explore around, muse the sight into our mind. After that, we will gather near Bromo. I don't want to get so far, so I just curve my path, then straight to the gathering point. In the last speech, our motivator emphasized again about God's relation with His creation life. After speech, many students went to the stair of Bromo. I followed and started walking on the stair. My legs still very heavy, so I stepped slowly while breathing heavily. Reached at the top again. I astounded by the landscape around me. When that trip was over, we were going back to the school. Eventually, we did the national exam. A month later, the score was announced. 1 out of 4 subjects I got very bad. Others is fine. In conclusion, I got lessons on better worship and preparation. Regret will not change things, but preparation does. That's all from me. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.